Afternoon.
Afternoon, how you doing?
Good, yourself? Thanks.
Good.
Alright, kids.
David, can we start please with your opinion, your view on the decision that Seb Larsson's ban will be upheld in the game?
Well, I can't for the life of me see how it's a sending off. I really don't. Puts his foot in the ball quite comfortably, pushes it through. No, I can't see it at all. So it's amazing, and we've not. Do you know something? We've not had that many decisions this year where I could say the referees have got wrong. You know, we've certainly one down at Southampton in a cup game where I get sent off for, but I can also think of only that one, and I thought that was and that's why I'm only talking about. I've not tried not to talk about any referees' decisions this season, but that one deserves to be talked about because it's somebody who's never been sent off in his career as well. So from that point of view, I thought it was wrong, and I think also the panel have got it wrong as well.
Do you think moving forward it sets a precedent because we see tackles like that in most matches?
I didn't think it was a tackle even worth talking about. I don't even know. I've seen worse tackles this year and things only been given bookings for. So I think that one was called wrong, if you ask me.
And in terms of Larsson himself, he's one of your performers. You're always going to get sort of 7 out of 10 from him. He's there, he puts in 100%. How big a loss will he be?
Well, it's a big loss because he's reliable and we trust him, and he puts in sort of good standard performances in every game for us, so we'll miss him. And as I said before, I don't think it's right, I think it's wrong.
How much a boost to the club was it this week, Jordan Pickford being nominated for PFA Young Player of the Year?
Well, I think everybody would have expected him to be at this club anyway, because we've seen how good he's been all season and worked with him, and I think he is. I mean, I think there's some really good young talent around, but I think if you talk about emerging talent this year and people who really come on the scene, I think you'd have to say Jordan's the best.
Yeah, you said that last week as well, but when you see his name alongside the likes of Dele Alli and Kaku, I mean, do you think he's had an even better season than these lads?
Well, I think, as I said, I think those other players have been known over the last couple of years, and I think they are. They're incredibly good young players. But I think if you're talking about a young player who's come onto the scene for the first time this year, and I'm not saying he was unknown, but I think to come in the Premier League as a goalkeeper and done as well as he's done, I think it's been exceptional.
I don't know if it was because of the sending off early in the game last week, but there was just a kind of sense of resignation, perhaps even from the stands as well, in the second half of the game against Manchester United on Sunday. How's the week been on the back of that? Because I mean, it is getting tougher and tougher as the games go by. Yeah,
it definitely is. But I think that the resignation was that it's been a poor decision. It was 1-0 at the time in the game. We were well in the game against Manchester United, and I think to play them with 10 men was the problem. I don't think it was any other reason than that I think people saw the game going away from us because of the nature of the opponents.
For you personally, you're not used to sort of fighting down the bottom of the table at clubs you've been at previously. How difficult is this? I mean, are you hurting at the current situation?
Well, I'm definitely hurting, yeah, and I'm certainly not enjoying the feeling I've been down here. But I think part of football management is that you don't always get it good. I've had some really good times, and at the moment it's sore. You know, I don't enjoy losing every Saturday and going home to the family. So, but we pick it up. I always think that in football there's always another chance. You always get another chance in football, and we've got another chance this week against West Ham. Yeah,
do you and the players all go to the supporters, still turning out their numbers to keep going right until the end?
I don't think the players owe anything to MD. I think the players every week have done everything they can. At the moment they're performing, they're giving the best they can. It's not lack of effort, it's not lack of commitment. I've said many times we might be lacking in a bit of quality at times, but it's not for all the things you would hope from the players. I think they're giving the best they can.
Finally from me, Victor Anichebe, very honest after the game the other day, said that the players are perhaps, he says they're nervous, they're perhaps naive when you should be trying to stay in games a bit longer. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Well, I think he's getting it because that's what we're telling them. You know, we've said for a while that, you know, we're having to stay in the games, and I've been using it for a while. We've got to be in the games to have a chance of winning them. And I think in a lot of the games recently we have been, you know, Leicester City away, you know, Watford, and it was maybe a mistake from a set piece, or we just didn't defend across well enough. But we'd been in games, we hit the post in some games, we had chances. So if we put ourselves and we get too far out of them, then it's too far to come back. Well, last game against Manchester United, the sending off probably made it too difficult for us.
Thanks, David. Thanks. David, team news-wise, how are you looking?
Basically, we've got most of the players I think available from what we had last week. Seb and obviously Brian Oviedo's the one who's got a hamstring injury and won't be available for the game.
Yeah, how is Brian's injury?
Well, Brian's looks as if he's got quite a bad hamstring injury, so it looks like about a 4-week injury, and we'll miss him probably for a good part at the end of the season now.
John O'Shea back training, how's he?
John O'Shea's back training, and obviously we gave him the weekend off to be with his family. He's back in, and he's a good professional, John, and we've given him a bit of time, but also I think he probably knows the best thing to do is to get on the horse again and go again, and so we've got him back training.
We've already spoken about Jordan Pickford. Also this week, Joel Asoro, nominated European Golden Boy Award. Can you tell me a little bit about his potential, you think?
Yeah, I think Joel's got potential. He came with us, he's very young, he's 17, he'll be 18 this week actually, so he's someone who we introduced to the first team in the pre-season partly because of numbers as well, and he made a big impact. And like all young players, their development can be up and down. There's been bits of the season where he's been good, and there's been bits of the season where he's dipped. But with his age, he's doing really well. His development's coming on nicely, and we hope that we can continue that.
Is there a good bunch, Joel included, for next season, do you think?
I see Joel as one of a bunch who could easily sort of start to knock on the door. We have another couple who are doing well, and I'm looking for more to join them as well. So if they can join us, it'll add, because we will need it, because even though our numbers, we were short this year, we were able to bring in sort of Jordan Pickford, Lyndon Gooch, George Honeyman. We went out and brought in Paddy McNair and Donald Love, who are all boys of 20, 21 years old. So sometimes at football clubs you don't see all the things. I actually think that we've introduced quite a lot of young players this year. A couple of them have unfortunately got bad injuries. But we've actually brought in 5 or 6 young players this year.
So West Ham this weekend, they're 8 points clear of the relegation zone. Safe, do you think, for you?
Yeah, I think West Ham are safe, and I also think that they're a club and a team which you would expect to be. I think they've got a good enough team, and I think that they will be. I think they'll be okay.
They've only won 1 of their last 8, albeit that was last week. So are there areas you can target with them, do you think?
I think we'll have a good chance of winning the game. But you asked me, do I think they'll stay up? I think they will. But I think that we've got to try and cause West Ham problems. They got a big result last week. We need a big result this week.
Slaven Bilic, how do you assess the work he does there? It's an interesting club. It's got big expectations. They've changed stadiums. They had a great year last season. This season not perhaps as well, but how do you assess his job there?
I think Slaven has done a really good job. I think he's gone in and gave them a very good season last year, probably better than maybe what was expected. They had some really exciting players in their team and still do, and I think then it means that while you're trying to really establish yourself as a top club, sometimes you can dip down a little bit. I think West Ham are a top club and trying to establish themselves near the top end more often.
Andy Carroll, perhaps because he was born down the road and used to play for Newcastle, always seems to do quite well when he comes back to the North East. Scored last time here, scored against Middlesbrough earlier in the season. How can you stop him?
Well, I think it'll be a team effort to stop him. We've got to stop them getting deliveries into the box, which Andy Carroll will thrive on. We've got to try and keep him away from the box as much as we can to make any chances he does get more difficult. But I also think you need to play him well. They'll be clever as well. When you can out-jump him, when you can't, when you need to stay off him. And hopefully then we'll have the experience in the nous to do that.
And just finally from me, in the reverse game, which was earlier in the season, does that sum up your luck at times this season?
Yeah. You think of the decision that day which went against us, and there was a few of them at the start of the season. There was me earlier talking about maybe not too many bad refereeing decisions. Well, that's another one you've just told me about.
Thank you.
Thank you. Done?
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Good. Happy Easter to you all.
And you.
Thank you.
And actually, here you go. I've got you something to eat in the car. Good back. There you go.
Thanks very much.
There you go.
Cheers.
There you go.
Is that
Yeah.
our prize for all the bad questions?
That's it. There you go. Just shows you. Doesn't matter what creed you are.
Very happy.
Probably need to
Just had
watch
a-
which
just had a-
cameras are still running. There you go. There you go.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
We just had about 4 hot cross buns next door.
Did you? Well, there you go. Listen, well, either that or you give it to. Who's all got one? Who's all got one here?
Oh, fire up in the corner.
There you are. Thank you. There you go. Enjoy your chocolate and your Easter. Okay. See you later.
Thanks, Dave. All the best. tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll eat mine now.
Getting in there, Rob?
Yeah.